Welcome in to our college football show of the week number 6. Myself and Mr. Christian Bole. Brother, good to see you. Some good slated games this week.
Great slate of games this week. We're finally getting into the heart of the conference schedule, so we're really going to start seeing what some of these teams are made of. And boy, oh boy, it's going to be a fun week, man. I can't wait for it.
Going to be a fun week. You look at the very first matchup on the board. This has potential to be the overall game of the week. That's the number 3 Texas Longhorns minus 5.5 on the road at Oklahoma, taking on the Sooners over under 60.5 points in this game. Man, I will tell you what, Texas, they got all the way down to minus 6.5 yesterday, and here they are. Some sharp money came in, and the number came back down to 5.5, even though the majority of the money here is on Texas. Are you jumping on the 5.5 train?
I want to, man. I want to believe in Texas, but I know the second I pick them, they're going to fucking lose. I just know it. I just know they're going to. And Oklahoma has been killing everyone this year. They haven't played a good team, but they've killed all the bad teams. They've done exactly what you're supposed to do to the bad teams. But Texas has been more complete. I think I'm going to take the Sooners and the points just because that's a lot of points for a rivalry game. It's a lot of points. It's a neutral site game at the Cotton Bowl. I'm going to take the points, but I think I'd throw Texas in a parlay on money line because I think Texas is going to win this game, but I do think Oklahoma keeps it close. Oklahoma got their asses kicked by Texas last year. I think it was 49-0. It was something crazy last year. So I think they're going to be out for a little bit of revenge. I'm going to take Oklahoma in the points, but I am going to take Texas on the money line.
I'm glad you pointed out the neutral site because, you guys, that is obviously important in this game that neither team is home because you're talking about two very hostile environments. Should be pretty 50-50. This is tough, man. 80% of the bets and the money are coming in on Texas, but so are the sharps. So it's like, okay, what are we doing here? If the sharps were all on Oklahoma and then there was 80% of the money on Texas and then the number was coming down, I'd be like, okay, I guess my hand is forced. I have to go Oklahoma here. But it's like, everything is pointing Texas for me. You mentioned the schedule. Yes, Oklahoma, they've beat the teams they need to beat. But you look at the two resumes, Texas have clearly been playing a much tougher schedule so far. Their 5-0 for me is definitely more impressive than the Sooners 5-0. Dude, I feel like I've down-talked Texas this whole year. I don't like taking Texas at the spread ever. I'm not a Quinn Ewers guy. I don't like that the number's coming down, and everything is telling me to go Oklahoma, but I'm going Texas. Give me the Longhorns, baby. I don't love it, Christian. I'm going to be sweating this out, dog.
Yeah.
But 5.5's not enough. If this thing went the other way and you gave me Oklahoma plus 7, I would take the 7.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma's 5-0 against the spread this year. So they're looking for a perfect against the spread season. Texas is only 3-2. The thing that scares me, and I think what's different about this Texas team, is the defense is legit for Texas. It's legit. Like, they have a very good defense. They have good pass rushers. I'm right there with you, man. I want to take Texas, but I know the second that I bet on them, they're going to lose. And the college football is way more fun when Texas is good because they get all high and mighty, and then they end up doing what Texas does, and they fall apart. So
absolutely.
I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to take Oklahoma plus 5.5, but I do think Texas wins this game.
I'm right there with you. If you guys can just put Texas in a parlay and call it a day, that's the way to go. But if you got to pick a spread, Christian taking the 5.5, I'm painfully laying the 5.5. Say a prayer before the game because you're going to need it. Christian, over under in this game has jumped from 59 to 60.5. I know you're an overs guy, but you just mentioned the defense, and I agree with everything you said. Give me the under 60.5 in this one.
Yeah, I want to take the under, but I feel like it's my responsibility for this game to take the over. It has to be a tradition to take the over in the Red River rivalry. These teams score points, and these games are crazy. I think back to the Caleb Williams game where he just came back, and that was the first time we saw Caleb Williams. I just think that when I think of the Red River rivalry, I think of points, points, points. I don't care how good the defenses are. I'm going to take the over 60.5. I don't feel good about it, but it's a point of pride for me that I have to take the over in this game.
Fair enough, dude. I don't blame you at all. I think it's going to be sweaty. I definitely can see one of these two teams reaching that 31, 34 point threshold. So I'm definitely going to be sweating this one out, but I think I'm going to go Texas to win this thing. Texas 34-27 or something like that. Like that'll be sweaty. It's right there. Like I think this number is right on the bet, right on bat there. But between the under hitting and Texas covering, I can't lie. I don't like that I'm on both sides there because I'm gonna need points if I want them to pull away in this game. So like, dude, I don't know. This game terrifies me, but hey, good luck to everybody. Gonna be a fun one. That's an early one, so make sure you don't miss it. Jumping over. Here is a very surprising line, and I think this might be the most surprising line of the week for me. That is number 23 LSU. They are -4 on the road at number 21 Missouri, who are getting 4 points in their own house with a higher ranking. What's going on here?
I have no idea, man. LSU's still riding the coattails of the fact that they were one of the preseason top 3.
Breach.
I think that's where, they were up there. That defense is maybe as bad as the Broncos, honestly. Like that LSU defense, maybe as bad as the Broncos. It's right up there with it.
Oh man,
their offense is elite, though. Jaden Daniels is awesome. Like they look really good. Missouri surprised us a little bit in the SEC so far. They've won some games we didn't think they would take. I love the fact that 71% of the bets are on LSU in this game. I love that because I'm going to take Missouri because I just think with the way LSU's defense is playing, Missouri's offense is going to be able to score and keep up with LSU's offense. So give me Missouri +4 at home. This is the biggest game of the year for them so far.
Dude, this game is as trappy as trap can be. It's like you're looking at the numbers and the numbers are like, okay, well, just take the 4.5 points. But at the same time, it's like, well, LSU, are they better? That's the question for me. Is LSU better than their ranking? These games that they've lost, did they lose with some bad luck or did they lose because they're not that good? And I got to be honest with you, I think they're not that good. Like I was on them early in the season. They dropped a close one. Last week I was on them. They dropped a close one. I'm getting really tired of betting on LSU and they lose. And the fact that you got to lay 4.5 on the road, it's just tough for me. But I do think player for player, they are the better team. They just don't put it all together. So I don't trust them here. I don't know, dude. LSU, they've lost 3 of their previous 4 games against the spread against opponents at their home stadium. That's not a good number either. So look, I don't want to do this. I don't love this. But oh, you know what? I got to point out one more thing. The spread in this game was 6.5. Then it was 5.5. Now it's 4.5 to 4, depending where you're looking. And like you mentioned, the majority of the public is on LSU, but all the sharp bettors, all the big bettors are coming in and they're taking Missouri. So my gut tells me LSU, but the numbers tell me to go with Missouri. So I'm going to go with you. Give me the 4.5 points and maybe even put these guys on upset alert because they could just flat out win this game. So good luck to you there.
I don't even know if that's upset alert, though. At this point, like Missouri's the better team. Like
that's
LSU,
higher ranking.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be one of those games. I don't feel great about it, but Missouri is better than LSU at this moment. And I trust Missouri to cover 4. Like if this number gets all the way down to like 1.5 for LSU, I may take LSU at that point. But for them to win by more than a field goal, no chance.
I'm with you. If it's LSU -2.5 or better, honestly, I would definitely look that way. I just don't see how, and I know we have 4 here, but I'm seeing it bounce back and forth. If you guys are trying to lay 4.5 with LSU, I just think you're laying way too many points. I don't know. I don't get it. I think it'd be way too sweaty. You're going to be kicking yourself when you had +170 staring you in the face and you decided to lay 4.5 points with LSU. So 64.5 points, my man, a pretty dang high number. It was 63, 64, now 64.5. So it's on the up. Are you still going to go over?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, LSU's defense can't stop anything, dude. They can't stop anything. And LSU's offense is great. So I think they could put up 40 points in this game, but I also think they could give up 45. So I'm going to take the over in this one. I don't trust LSU's defense, but I do trust their offense to score a shit ton of points.
I'm right there with you. The Tigers offense, man, they've scored 23 points or more in each of their first 5 and 30 or more in 4 of those first 5. And you look at the Missouri, their last 4 games, 3 of them have gone over. It's like, and the numbers on the up, guys. This is a trend. This is one of those things you got to look at. You got to be like, okay, where's the number going? If it's on the up and up, if all the money's coming on the under and it's still moving up, just take the over. I'm with you here. I don't like 64.5 points for me. That's a dang high number, 34 to 30. I don't like going much higher than 34. So if you guys can get it there, get it there. Now, let me ask you this. If it's 66.5 by game time, do you still go over, or now you playing with fire?
Still going over, man.
Wow.
Until LSU's 5-0 in the over-unders this year. They've gone over in all 5 games. Until they lose a game over-under, I'm going to keep betting the over for them. Until they show me something on defense to slow a team down, I'm going to take the over for them. And they've scored a shit ton of points in every game too. Like their offense is elite. So until they prove that they can stop someone on defense, I'm going to keep betting the over on LSU no matter how high it gets.
All right, guys. So take the Tigers and the 4.5. Well, take the Missouri Tigers.
There you go.
4.5. Sorry, didn't mean to throw that out there and confuse you guys. And then the over. We're going over all day long. If you can get it as close to 64 as possible, do so. Jumping over, we got a ranked team against a non-ranked team, Dogs, on the road. It's a very shocking number here for me. Number 13, Washington State, 3.5-point dogs at unranked UCLA. Christian, I could tee off on this, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna keep this very short and sweet. It's Washington State plus the 3.5. It's Washington State money line. It's Washington State all the way to the freaking bank. I do not agree with this line.
I don't either, man, but we fell for this trap last week with Utah and Oregon State. We did. We fell for this trap, and I don't think I'm going to fall for it again. UCLA could not have looked worse against Utah 2 weeks ago. They had a bye week. They're going to come back. This is Washington State's first time going on the road all year. They've played every game at home, and everyone's riding high on Washington State. I think this is a sneaky game, man. I think UCLA is a solid team. 3.5 is still a lot, though. It's a lot. It's a lot. But I got tricked last week by Utah. I got tricked last week by the books. I'm not going to fall for it again. I'm going to take UCLA. I do not feel good about it whatsoever. I don't. But I fell for this trap last week, and Oregon State kicked the crap out of Utah. And me and you both came on here being like, oh, Utah's defense is elite. They're going to slow down. And Oregon State made them look like shit, dude.
They did.
So I'm not going to fall for the trap again. I'm going to take UCLA minus 3.5. I hate the pick with everything in my body, but I'm going to roll with it because I've been riding Washington State all year. I think I bet on them every week, and they've won for me every week. So I'm going to take UCLA. Once again, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But
I bet you do. I bet you do hate it because it's everything in your gut. I know your gut is telling you, Christian, just take Washington, but the numbers, you're like, guys, there's something phony about this line and this number, and I agree with you there. We were wrong last week, but I want to touch on that. Oregon State, let me tip my cap. Y'all some fucking dogs, bro. Y'all are damn good at football. I will give them that. Utah, they looked terrible. And you just mentioned that UCLA looked so bad against Utah. That's exactly why I like this. Because Oregon State beat the crap out of them. And UCLA looked horrible against Utah. So I see what you're saying, but I'm going to take the other side of that card. And I'm going to say that was UCLA showing you that they don't deserve to be a ranked team. They're not that good, and they're running into an absolute powerhouse of a team. I know they're on the road here, but honestly, that might make them even more excited to go out there in a hostile environment and play some football. Look, I think the wrong team's favored. Give me the Cougars 27-23 outright on the money line. If they do lose and you can get 3.5 or 4 points, you guys, in my opinion, I think you have to take it. For me, it's Washington State or nothing.
I think that's a fair point. I get everything you're saying, but I got fooled last week. I'm going to take UCLA minus 3.5 because this is a rat line. This line makes 0 sense. I'm going to take UCLA. I hate it though. I absolutely hate it, dude. I do. Yeah. Like it's the worst. But I'm going to cheer for UCLA in this game.
Wow. Yeah, I can't. I'll believe it when I see it, but you guys, if I fall victim of a plus 3.5 with a number 13 killing it football team on the road against an unranked who I believe is kind of a fraudulent UCLA, then you know what? You're right, guys. Christian might be on the right side here. These odds makers, they might be right, but I just think you got to take your chances here with the 3.5 and just take a shot that even if they lose, they barely lose and UCLA pull one out. So we'll see what happens there. 60.5 points, man. I got to be honest with you. It's too high for me. It's actually much too high for me. I could almost see this being like a 21-17 game. I know I went as high as 27-23. That's as high as I'm going. Give me the under all day long. I'll bet this all the way down to 57.5, dude.
Does it change your mind that the last time these teams played, the score was 67-63?
It does not.
I'm going to take the over in this one. Cam Ward is elite. I do think UCLA's defense can be exposed a little bit. And like you were saying with Utah, I think we kind of got exposed in that game that Utah's offense isn't very fucking good. And that's why that game stayed so close. I don't think UCLA's defense is that good. I think Cam Ward's going to go off in this game. I'm going to take the over 60.5. This whole game just stinks for me. I just know I'm either going to look like an absolute genius or the biggest idiot on the face of the planet for taking the over in UCLA. So that's where we're at with it, man. This is a weird ass game. It's a weird line. It's a weird over under. Both of them make 0 sense, but I'm going to take UCLA and I'm going to take the over.
UCLA and the over. Wow. I'm glad to see us on different ends. I'm on the under. And you guys can go ahead and give me Washington State. So you guys got to pick your poison, whichever side you feel better about. But we're telling you.
This is great for the show because at least one of us is going to be right.
Hey, you're right. Congratulations, guys. We just gave you 2 winners. So
correct.
What's up?
So we're good.
Oh, that's funny. And we can't push, guys. So good luck. So 2 winners there. We won't talk about the 2 losers we just gave you, but we did give you 2 wins. So best of luck in that one. That's going to be a great football game. Make sure you guys don't miss it. Jumping over. Our Colorado Buffaloes back in action, man. They are 4.5-point favorites on the road at Arizona State. Sun Devils getting 4.5 points here in their own house. We got to pump the brakes for 2 seconds. This line is fishy. I don't understand it. It makes me nervous. You and I watched Arizona State get dismembered by Fresno State the other week. These guys lost by 14 to USC. I don't know what it is here, but something's going on with this line. Why are they only 4.5-point favorites? Because I feel like the public is slamming the absolute hell out of this line right now.
Yeah, this is another one of those games that feels like a trap because me and you both agree. Arizona State stinks. They are really bad.
Terrible.
And they kept the game close with USC. They got beat up by Fresno State. Colorado looked great in the second half against USC. The defense looked like it was finally starting to put it together a little bit, and they slowed down Caleb Williams a little bit, which is kudos to that because that's hard to do. I think I'm going to take Colorado, man. I just trust CU more than I trust Arizona State in this game, and I think Shedeur has. I think that second half against USC is going to be huge for his confidence that hey, I can do this against the elite teams in college football, and Arizona State's not one of those elite football teams. This, to me, is going to be more of a test for Colorado because this is a team they should beat by 14 points. They should. So I'm going to really see. Yeah, I'm going to really see what the CU team is going to be. Are they going to just be a 6-6 football team, which is fine? Like that's 6 times better than they were last year. Or are you going to be an 8-4, 9-3 football team? That's really where this is going to come for me. So I'm going to take CU as at -4.5. This really is a prove it game for me.
Colorado right now, they are 15-point favorites next week against Stanford, but they're only 4.5-point favorites against Arizona State. I do not understand that, you guys. I'm right here with Christian. Shedeur looked great. It all started when he ran that ball in with just a couple minutes left before halftime, and he turned up from there. You mentioned the defense. I think between Travis Hunter and Shiloh, I believe, and you guys, by the way, make sure you check on this. I believe one of those 2 will be back for this game. And if you have either of those 2 guys back in this game, especially Shiloh, I don't see how he's not in. This dude makes tackles, open field hits everywhere. He's very important to this defense. I don't have to tell you how important Travis Hunter is. Obviously, we all know if Travis plays, this line is 8 by game time for sure. So, look, dude, you look at the numbers, and for me, it's all in the numbers. Shedeur Sanders, first of all, second best passer right now in the country with 1,781 yards. Buffs averaging 34.2 points a game. Arizona State's inconsistent defense allowing 28.6 points a game. I don't see how Shedeur doesn't put up 35 plus in this one, and I do not think Arizona State are good for anything more than 27, 28 points here. So for me, this is Colorado. Anything minus, I'll say 5.5, but even 6.5 or less, give me Colorado at the spread here. I got them at 4. It's at 4.5. You guys, I think you got to lay it. I really do. I don't see a world in which you can take Arizona State. We might all be wrong. I don't know what the heck's going on here. These odds makers, they know everybody's going to take Colorado, and they're still not putting juice on the line. I think they should put this line at like 6, 6.5, and make you fight for it. But instead, they're like, here, you want Colorado at 4.5? You can have them at 4.5.
Yeah.
It's weird to me. I don't know.
This whole week's been weird with the lines. I don't love the lines that we've been seeing. But yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, man. I just think CU really woke up in that second half against USC and went back to the team that we saw in the first 2 weeks of the season. I really think that was good for them. I think they're going to play the same way. I would love to see Travis Hunter or Shiloh back. It's just weird, their injuries. Like Travis Hunter had a liver injury and then Shiloh had a kidney injury. Like that's just weird injuries that you don't hear about in football very often. So if either one of them back, this is such a trap line, but I'm going to take CU at the -4.5, man. I'm just going to. I just don't think Arizona State's that good.
Yep. Guys, if you can get it at 4, you can even buy it down to 4. I would do it at 4. Give yourself the push because once you get to 4.5, 4.5, 5, 5.5, it's all the same number if we're being honest. So at that point, you could actually go alt spread, maybe lay 5.5, get yourself some plus money there. But play this line smart. Be careful. If you guys are looking for somewhere to watch the game, head on down to Jackson's Lodo in Denver, 1520 20th Street. They're going to have all the games on, going to be popping up there at the bar. So make sure you guys pull up. Tell our boy Joe Buckley hello. And my man, over under in this game opened at 59, 59.5. Now it's up at 60, and it seems to be settling in right there. I'm seeing it bounce back and forth between 59.5 and 60. How you feeling about this line? You and I both just talked about how good the Buffs offense is, how bad the Devils defense is. So how good is the Devils offense?
This one's got me perplexed too, man. Like, this is why I'm making this face, because every part of me wants to take the over. Every part of me wants me to take the over. I just don't trust Arizona State's offense, man. Like that's really where it is. I agree. I think Shedeur and them are going to put up 35, 40 points, but I don't think Arizona State's going to score more than 14. I think 60 is too high for this game. I think
there's
it's
something wrong here. There's something wrong here.
Right. I want to take the over, but I just do not trust Arizona State's offense, man. I just don't.
Yeah.
And as bad as USC's defense is, and as bad as CU's defense looked, I think CU's defense is better than USC's. I really do. So I'm going to take.
Okay.
I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under. I hate it. I hate it once again. But I trust CU's offense. I do not trust Arizona State's offense.
I'm going to go the other way, and I don't like it at all. But I was leaning under, but I think that Colorado, I'm going to go ahead and give them 38 points in this game. And for that, I don't think we're going to need much more than about 23 out of Arizona State to get to the over. And honestly, we all know Colorado's one weakness is the defense. If they're going to screw up anywhere, it's going to be there. Arizona State, they put up, 28 on USC, so they can score. But once again, if they only put up 28 on USC, which, by the way, was their hands-down best performance of the year, they were rolling offensively. They hit a couple of really big plays that they had no business hitting again this entire rest of this year. I just don't see how these guys are good for anything more than 28 points. So I'll give them 24, 23 max. I'll give Colorado 35 to 38. I'll go over here. I don't love it, but for me, I'm going over 60. I'm going Colorado -4, -4.5. And you guys, if we're wrong here, I don't know what to tell you. If this game is like Arizona State wins 29-27, I'll be shook, but it could happen. So I don't know. Bet smart. Have some fun. Head on up to Jackson's and go watch the games. Jumping over, man, we have another fun one here on our hands. This one going to be good. I'm a big fan of this team. They are really starting to grow on me. That is the number 10 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, -6 on the road at number 25 Louisville, +6. Total points 47.5 here. By the way, Louisville, let me go ahead and say that right for all those Louisville people out there. My man, -6 on the road with Notre Dame. Sam Hartman on an absolute roll right now. Are you going to lay it here?
I'm going to take Louisville +6. I am. It's just Notre Dame is a very good team, and they survived last week against Duke. I just think 6 is too many points for a road team in this game. I just do. Louisville's offense has looked really good. Jack Plummer's looked really good. I'm going to take Louisville +6. Also, I just hate Notre Dame. So that's why I'm going with that.
Okay. Then I'll pull up in here and I'll defend the boys, man. Look, Sam Hartman -6, you guys. I think anything less than a touchdown, I will not bet it if it hits 7, but I think it's 6. I don't even want to lay 6.5, but anything at 6 to 6.5, I think you got to do it here with Notre Dame. Man, Sam Hartman, this dude is a dog. This dude is the real deal. I think he's an absolute gamer. Let me first of all say, I think Notre Dame on the money line in a parlay is one of my favorite bets of the entire weekend. I do not
like
think
that.
they dropped this game. You know what I'm saying?
I like
and I know that Louisville, yeah, they're top 25, but they're number 25, and they just snuck in there and got in. So I don't know, man. I think they're just kind of hitting outside of their zone here. I don't think that Louisville matches up with Notre Dame player for player, offense for offense, defense for defense. Ever since Notre Dame sent 10 men out on the field or whatever that was, I think they kind of woke up last week. Yeah, you know what? The Duke game was close, but that Duke team at home, that's a good football team. And I do not think Louisville is on that level of Duke. So I'm going to lay 6 points here. Make sure you head over to Honest Golf Apparel. Check out honestgolf.ca and use code TSF20 for 20% off your order today. Code right there below. Make sure you guys go use it. They got their brand new rope hats in today, and they are clean looking. So use the code and go get yourself 20% off. Look, man, this is a scary game, but guys, I'm going -6. Christian's going +6, and we're both going under the 54.5 points here. So best of luck there. Jumping over. I got my shirt on. I'm ready to go, baby. Colorado State Rams are on the road here. 2-point favorites. They opened the week as dogs. 2-point favorites on the road at Utah State. Look, dude, I think the odds makers, they figured this one out. It took them a few days, but they started to figure it out. I was looking at them the other day at +3. And I sprinkled it. And I wish I would have gone harder on it, but now they're 2-point favorites. Do you think they deserve to be favored in this spot?
I really enjoyed what they've been doing lately. Offensively, they looked really good. Ever since that CU game, they've been solid. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm going to take CSU minus the points. I'm going to take it now because I have a feeling it's going to get up to 3, maybe 3.5. So give me the Rams -2. And I think they've turned a corner offensively, which has been good. And we knew their defense was good. So I'm going to take CSU minus the points, and I'm not even going to think about it.
I was talking with Austin Martin on the radio the other day, the guy up from CSU. We were talking about Braden Fowler Nicolosi, man, and this quarterback, this kid is the real deal, dude. He's balling. He's absolutely took the job from Clay Millen. He gets better every single game. He's setting records. He's slinging the ball. He makes a couple mistakes once in a while. Throws a ball that you're like, oh, dude, you shouldn't have tried to fit it in there. But that's what you're going to get out of a young guy. I think that every single game, this kid takes 3 steps forward. Man, I think this offense is going to be absolutely rolling. The Rams are good in this game for 34 to 38 points, guys, and I do not think that this Utah State team can score more than about 24 in this game. So give me the Colorado State Rams -2. Like you said, do not overthink this game, guys. If it's anything less than a field goal, you got to go Rams.
Got to go Rams. And I agree with everything you're saying point-wise, but the last 5 times these teams have played, the games have gone under. So that leads me right into there. 63 points, too many points. I'm taking the under. Too many points for these two teams. So if it was like 45, maybe 63 is a lot of points, man. Wow. It's a lot of points.
Ooh. Well, I will say I was looking at some other big projections for the week, and a lot of like professional odds makers, professional bettors, sharps, they were agreeing with you, and they were all saying, guys, this is a 52-point over-under game. Everyone's saying this is a 28-24 game. And I kind of agree with that, but I feel like an insane person, and I'm going over. Give me the over. 63 points in this game. Insane, guys, but hey,
I would love to see it. But that's just a lot of points, man.
Yeah. 38, 27. Oh, my God. I'm asking for a lot here.
You are.
I'm really asking for a lot. I just think, look, the one thing you mentioned is the games keep going under between these two teams, but there was no Braden Fowler, Nicolosi, and Horton out there on that field together. And these two together are an absolute problem. So I'm going to go over here. I think the Rams can hang up 40 on these guys. It's just going to be about, can Utah State hang around and carry their share here? But I'll be honest with you guys, I think Christian's on the right side of this number. I would definitely like it at 52 or 54, but there's a reason it's this high. And I'm going to take the bait and I'm going to go over here. So good luck to everybody there. I got a couple upset alerts for top ranked teams that I want to throw at you, get your opinion on them. Very first one, number 14, North Carolina taking on Syracuse. This one's in North Carolina. I like the Qs plus 325 on the money line. Hey, well, by the way, guys, let me throw out there. These are obviously all major long shots. I'm just saying, is it worth a sprinkle?
No, Syracuse is terrible.
Wow.
Syracuse is really bad, dude. Like they did this last year. They did the exact same thing where they started off super strong and then they lost like 6 of their last 7. Sure. I don't like them. I don't like Syracuse. I like North Carolina to win that game.
Okay. Christian saying no. I say do it. I say take a sprinkle at 325 and just see what happens. I think this could definitely be a 1-score football game. And for that reason, I got to take the Qs at 325. Number 1, Georgia at home taking on number 20, Kentucky. Kentucky coming in disrespected plus 450 on the money line. I see the face you're making and I understand why you're doing it. But let me tell you, this Georgia team, they're playing with fire. They are leaving way too many games open. They're leaving back doors open for teams to get them. They get outplayed in the first half every freaking game, and then they come back and they destroy you in the second half. I think Kentucky plus 450. This is disrespectful. I got to sprinkle.
I get the sprinkle, but here's the thing, man. I think the SEC kind of sucks this year. I think they're trying to prop up these teams like Kentucky, like Arkansas, like LSU. Like, it kind of sucks this year. Like, the SEC is not that great. Like, Alabama's not as good as we thought they were going to be. Georgia's not as good as we thought they were going to be. In the end, I still trust Georgia's playmakers more. I would love to see Georgia lose because I think that'd be very funny. But I just think they're too good for Kentucky, man. I think they're too good.
Okay. Fair enough, guys. Look, I agree with you. They're the number 1 overall team for a reason, you guys, but you're going to get a number 20 team at 4.5 to 1. I think if these teams play 5 games, Kentucky can win one of them. So give me a sprinkle at the plus 450. I know it's going to be risky, but if you guys are feeling ballsy, go ahead and take a shot there on those guys to get this done. Jumping over to another one. This one, to me, it's not obviously a very big dog, but it's a clear dog you got to take a look at. Number 11, Alabama taking on Texas A&M. A&M at home here. They're 1.5-point dogs. They're plus 110 on this money line. You and I are not Texas A&M fans, but you just mentioned that Alabama might not be that good. I'm surprised by this. I'm saying no, Texas A&M does not pull this upset.
See, I'm on the other side. I think Texas A&M can win this game. I think they can. It's going to be a fun when these two teams play. Craziness ensues. So these games are always close. It's really just a coin flip for who's going to win. I think Texas A&M at home, I could see this one being an upset.
There you go, guys. If you want to go with Christian, he's taking the dog to pull it off, plus 110 to knock off number 11 Alabama. You might be right, but I don't know. This Texas A&M team made me sick. I can't even watch these guys play football. 2 honorable mention games for 2 more dogs we got to check out. Number 16, Ole Miss taking on Arkansas. Arkansas plus 375 on the road. I know you're not going to like it, Christian, but it's sprinkle worthy, brother.
Oh, 100%. This is the one that I think should have been the top one. I think Arkansas is going to win this game. Ole Miss coming off the emotional win against LSU. This is prime letdown spot for them. Prime letdown spot. I love this game for Arkansas. On the money line. This is the one game of the 5 you have listed that I am going to probably actually bet on and put some serious dough on because I do think Arkansas can beat Ole Miss.
I'm with you guys. The over-under in that game is like 63, 64 points right now. It's supposed to be an absolute shootout. Yes, Arkansas, they're 11.5-point dogs. That 11.5 points, you got to slam that number. And then if you're with us, go ahead and sprinkle that money line as well. We're going to take a shot here on the Razorbacks to go ahead and pull off a huge upset. And the final game we got to talk about here, number 24, Fresno State taking on Wyoming in Wyoming. Wyoming are plus 200 on the money line. I'm not that high on this team, but Christian, they win games that they don't really have business winning. Do you think at plus 200, it's worth a shot?
It's worth a shot, man. We've seen what happens when you go into Wyoming, man. It's just a crazy place. Texas Tech lost in there their first week of the year. Fresno State's looked unbeatable. They look like the class of the Mountain West along with Air Force, excuse me. I think Wyoming has a chance to win this game. I like that one too. Your two honorable mentions are ones that I would actually have moved up to the top ranked teams on upset alert, because I do think Wyoming has a
Fair
really
enough.
good chance to win this game.
Fair enough. Yeah, just so you guys know, my honorable mention, that was just because I was going to do 3 of them. And I was like, you know what? There's 2 more really good ones, and I can't narrow this down to 3 games. So we're going to go ahead and throw 2 more in there because, you know, that's what we do over here. So 5 dogs you guys can take shots on: Syracuse, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Arkansas, and Wyoming. Christian saying he's going to go Texas A&M and Arkansas, and you're going to sprinkle Wyoming too, right?
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. He's got 3 of them. Guys, I'm going to try all of them except Texas A&M, which is really funny because it's the only one that's not big odds.
It's not a crazy
one. If I hit 2 of these, I'm making a lot of money on Saturday.
Yeah, your whole weekend's paid for.
Hey, good luck to you guys there. Any other games you want to talk about? Your Michigan boys, I know you guys are like 19.5-point favorites. So, you know, would you lay that spread?
Oh, yeah. They looked like the Michigan I thought they should look like last week against Nebraska. They beat the shit out of them.
Oh, yeah, baby. And you didn't trust them. What happened?
I didn't trust them. I hadn't seen it yet. Now they proved it to me. So I'm going to take them. But the one game I want to talk about that wasn't on the list, Maryland versus Ohio State. Maryland is getting 20 points on the road. I don't think there's a shot in hell they win that game, but that offense is too good to lose by 20-plus points. So I'm going to take Maryland plus 20.
Maryland plus 20. Yeah. Hey, if that gets to 21,
oh yeah,
I don't see it. Leave it on the board. You're right. Ohio State. I know you're an Ohio State hater, but I think you're onto something here. And I do not think Ohio State are as good as everybody puts them on this pedestal of being. So
they're going to win the game. Yeah, Ohio State's going to win, but I think Maryland covers.
Okay. Fair enough. So no upset alert.
No upset alert, but I will take Maryland to cover.
Hey, 21 points is a lot of freaking points. So good luck to everybody in college football week 6. One more time, shout out to our friends up at Jackson's Lotto. Make sure you guys head on down there. If you live in Denver, you live in Colorado, and you're looking for somewhere to watch the games, tell Joe that we all say hello as well. You guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you give Christian Bole a follow at Christian_Bole. Myself at Rig Sports Talk. Good luck on all those bets, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.